Seriously, what is Kenny Atkinson thinking? The Cavs are up 22 points in the fourth quarter. ESPN is giving them a 99.9% chance of winning.
Analytically, I think we won the I said 3 out of 3. We're 2 out of 3 in the expected. I don't know if you guys follow that. There's an expected score, and we won 2 out of 3. And I know you're looking confused, but
this man makes the genius decision of putting James Harden on Jalen Brunson one-on-one. Listen, Jalen Brunson is one of the toughest players in the league to guard. And James Harden, he's not exactly famous for being a good defender. So let us see how this experiment goes. Wow, James Harden manages to block him. Now Machas, look at this traffic jam in the paint. And see how quickly Landry Shamet makes a run to open space. This is what you should be doing, Machas. You don't wait for someone to catch the ball and start looking around. Before Karl Anthony Towns even has the ball in his hands properly, Shamet is already making a run. And he is rewarded with a nice open 3-point shot. But if you are down 20 points, just scoring is not enough. You have to get stops. So the Knicks are trying to be aggressive. And of course, Mikal Bridges gets crossed up. Because when you're trying hard to play defense, you're going to get crossed up, Machas. But what really matters is what you do next. See here how both Landry Shamet and Karl Anthony Towns are coming to cut off Donovan Mitchell's driving lane. Now yes, this means they're leaving their man open at the 3-pointer. So how do you decide whether you come to cut this off or whether you stick to your man on the 3? Just look at the guy who's driving, okay? If his eyes are down and he's already committed to the drive, just cut him off. But if he's looking around and patient, then yeah, play half-half. At least make him get into a double mind. But here no, Mitchell is rushing full speed. They cut off the driving lane and yeah, he throws a rushed pass, goes straight out of bounds. Now time to get one more bucket. Once again they get Jalen Brunson on James Harden. He comes to a strong stop on 2 feet. And this is really useful in high traffic situations, Machas. If you're driving at 60 kilometers per hour, it is tough to fit in one small gully and all. But if you slow down to say 10, 20, then easily you can fit and slither through. That is exactly what Jalen Brunson is doing here. So he's patient. He's looking to see what these 3 Cavs players do. And what do? They leave Karl Anthony Towns open. So it's a quick pass. And jelly fan. Now the Cavs are like, okay, if you're going to set a screen and make us switch Harden onto Brunson, we will do the same thing, switch Donovan Mitchell onto Brunson. Except the Knicks aren't simply going to give up the switch like that. First, look how they are pushing him further and further back towards half court. He's not Steph Curry to shoot from there. Now, look at Mikal Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns. They are ready to cut off any driving lanes for Donovan Mitchell. So all Jalen Brunson needs to concentrate on doing is making sure he doesn't shoot a 3. And that much Jalen Brunson can do easily, even James Harden can do. Okay, so plan A failed. But what should a pro team be doing when plan A flops, Macha? You should have a plan B, no. Instead, no, they swing it to Harden and they are so clueless about what to do only. The shot clock is running out over there. And now, there is 5 seconds. We have to do something. And James Harden has to chuck this ridiculous shot up. Once again, Knicks are looking for this switch. But instead of simply letting the switch happen, this guy overplays. Which is an even worse choice because look at how open the paint is. The NBA has a defensive 3-second violation rule, so you can't even put a defender permanently in the paint. Nowhere else where people have some sort of game sense will you see such an open paint. At least if Harden is guarding Brunson, it'll take 5 to 10 seconds off the game clock, no? So they have less time to make comeback. When you're up, you really have to run the clock as much as you can, okay, in 5-on-5. It's not 3x3 where you're racing to 21. Once again, they give up this switch. And once again, Jalen Brunson scores. I mean, Kenny Atkinson, what are you doing? So many points they've scored back to back. They're on a 11-1 run and they have cut this lead down to 12. Why are you not calling a timeout? Use your brain and think of some other tactics. Just do anything else other than switching or letting him have an open layup. Maybe do what the Knicks are doing, like blitz the screen, push him back towards half court, and force him to pass the ball. Now, once again, the Knicks look for the switch, like obviously, right? And then they clear out this entire space for Jalen Brunson to have a nice dance with James Harden. And none of the Cavs even want to help a friend in need. How different this is from the Knicks defense scene. Both these coaches have the same idea of forcing the switch. The difference is how they defend this. See how aggressively Jalen Brunson is going on Donovan Mitchell. Don't let him get comfortable and get into an ISO and all. He's pushing him back towards half court. And in the time he takes to like settle down, because obviously you don't want to rush against pressure defense, in that time they switch right back. They do not give up such mismatches easily. Now Mitchell wants another screen. And again, look at how Karl Anthony Towns is coming up to put pressure so that it slows him down even more. And Mikal Bridges is coming slightly towards the paint so that Mobley doesn't have an easy roll and lob and all of that. Now doing all of this slows them down. So by the time they're able to swing and create this big ISO for James Harden, they're down to 3.3 seconds left on the clock. James Harden can't even use all of that space to do something good. He has to throw up a ridiculous shot and airball it is. When Kyrie Irving said this in Uncle Drew,
basketball isn't a game, it's an art form. You master the fundamentals so you can forget them, so you can improvise and just concentrate on what really matters. Getting buckets.
This game is what he was talking about. See, I understand they're setting a screen, you need to switch, blah blah blah, that is the Cavs strategy. But if you see that something is not working once, twice, thrice, why do you let it happen 5-6 times in a row, Machas? Insanity is doing the same thing again and expecting different results. This guy didn't even change this strategy in Game 2, Game 3, Game 4, and that's why the Cavs have got swept now. Oh, finally the Cavs have decided to call timeout. Let's see what they cook up. Off the screen they switch, but Jalen Brunson does a good job pushing Donovan Mitchell back again. Send him to a position where he can't shoot from. You know, the only thing the defense has going for them in basketball is the shot clock. You need to keep making it as tough for the offense as possible so that they keep looking for a better shot until the shot clock runs out. Oopsie, Landry Shamet has gambled and completely missed the ball on this one. But the Knicks aren't going to give up just like that. They recover. See, Mikal Bridges is covering up. He's taking this guy up top. And then OG Anunoby is ready to go to Harden in the corners. So no easy threes for them. A little bit of passing happens and see. Now the Knicks are back in position. But whoopsie, Karl Anthony Towns goes to double Jarrett Allen in the paint and now Mobley has a wide open 3-pointer. Good use of the timeout. It just would have been better if you had done it like 5 possessions ago. But the real question is, what do they do on defense? Okay, instead of letting Jalen Brunson attack James Harden, you're letting OG Anunoby attack. Seriously, either get Harden some help, or if that is too difficult, just sub Harden out, no. Anyway, you're not making much use of him on offense. Okay, wow, the Cavs have cleared out all this space for Donovan Mitchell to have a one-on-one with Landry Shamet. But why are you waiting for a screen? When this happens, again the Knicks blitz. I mean, they're looking like the BBMP right now. Nice highway they build. Then they dig it up for metro construction. This is exactly how to get swept. Okay, now Kenny Atkinson has decided to copy the Knicks strategy and double off the screen. Except the position is a little different, okay? The Knicks were pushing Donovan Mitchell back to half court. Here they've let Brunson get to the 3-point line. And the next thing is you can't be leaving a shooter wide open right next to him. This is an easy pass. Someone needs to rotate and guard that so that Jalen Brunson is forced to make a tougher pass to the corner or something. And then you have time to recover. They're just in luck he missed that shot. Okay, the Cavs have learned their lesson and now they're blitzing Jalen Brunson off the screen, pushing him towards half court. Excellent stuff. They don't give up the switch so easily. But James Harden, what are you doing? Once you decide that you're not going to switch, you have to get back to your man. No, 5 seconds goes, 10 seconds goes, you're still not back to your man. And now Jalen Brunson makes that pass and Mikal Bridges makes that shot, cutting down the lead to 3. Now full pressure they are putting on Donovan Mitchell. He does something and all, he drives in. Now look how the Knicks are leaving both Mobley and James Harden wide open. This is why I'm saying, Kenny Atkinson, you could have just sub James Harden right there. All you're doing is giving the ball to Donovan Mitchell and expecting him only to do everything on offense. Spoiler alert, that's not going to happen. Nobody wins 5-on-1. Now after blitzing for one possession properly, the Cavs are back to doing whatever the heck this is, leaving OG Anunoby wide open at the top of the key. Now why are two people going there? You would expect better communication from a professional NBA team. One of them should be going to Landry Shamet in the corner, talk and decide which one. So after this confusion, the ball gets sent there. Harden tries going, but it's too slow. Ball is in the basket. And this is how the Cavs managed to blow a 22-point lead. That stuff really, really hurts. The Cavs, I think, didn't mentally recover from that the rest of the series, and that's how they got swept. Now I just hope the Knicks can go on to win the entire championship. Because who doesn't want to see a team of floppers or a 7'4" giant get taken down by good hustle, good teamwork, good fundamentals, right? Let's go Knicks!